Welcome to Girls Frontline 2 Escape from Cyborg event, which includes the introduction of the new doll Vector here. Presumably a member of H.I.D.E 404 from the tutorial. And we can also see a Mechty here together with hair. So it's probably a side event. Not sure how much connected it to the main story. Nowadays you never know, but we're definitely still with the H.I.D.E 404 squad there. Vector looks very cool doll and with style, Molotov cocktails and stuff. And here from the mini text here, we can see that we are in virtual reality right now, when everything descends into chaos, where the familiar bends with the unfamiliar, and when morality flips upside down, the only thing you can do is run. Give it your all and escape from this bizarre cyborg world. We are somewhat locked in this world, and also Mechty doing some overwalking. Let's start with the first stage. Their respective position. Having a different stance is not the same as being an enemy. And someone is disagreeing. Everything has been overturned. The cycle is set to repeat. Offer a piece of your soul, and you shall be a player on the chaotic, absurd stage. After 404 Combat Team A arrival at the Elmo, word about the loosening of the agreement naturally reaches members of Combat Team B. So that's what I also get. The Klukai, Mechty, and I forgot the name of the other doll. Andoris, I think. Yeah, it's Team A. But there's also a Team B of H.I.D.E 404. With Klukai's permission, 404 Combat Team B, being led by Vector, also successfully rendezvous with the Elmo. And just like that, H.I.D.E 404, while still operating as an independently entity, will utilize the Elmo as a long-term base. Having just completed some combat simulation trainings, the member of Combat Team B returned to the terminal. The progress bar on the monitor is at 100%. And dense row of data and statistical charts start scrolling down. Vector stares at the final combat evaluation score with a slight frown. And the status is not voice. Okay. Yes, I know that. Well, Rod. Probably a team member of Team B. You don't look very happy despite the decent score. Candidness is the key to effective communication among teammates. So tell me, why are you dissatisfied with the score? I assume Vector is not the woman of many words? It's not about the score. Well, Rod, you didn't follow the operation plan we agreed upon beforehand. A good plan should be flexible enough to withstand change. As a mastermind behind the plan, I'm well aware of this. But since you find it necessary, I don't mind doing a full debrief and review. The original plan was to immobilize the enemy with a stun grenade after breaking through the door. Reggie and I would then lay down suppressive fire from the front, while you and Harpsy would circle around and rescue their hostage. Yes, that's about right. You're correct, and you did your part. But your unexpected actions affected the whole situation. Valor raises an eyebrow in acknowledgement. Indeed, I decided to deviate from the plan to eliminate a certain unit. I don't know why there was a candle line in the lab, but I bet the interior designer who put it in there would be glad to know that their fancy light fixture was the key to our victory. If there were designers on level 2, that is. Has it occurred to you that actively altering the environment could put us at a disadvantage? I think you should make it clear that exactly you are getting at to avoid any misunderstanding. In other words, scattering glass everywhere wasn't exactly conducive to your subsequent actions or withdrawal. Shards of broken glass do no damage to doll frames. Yes, but they do harm the hostages. Pardon? Wildrot is confused for a moment. We have no medical dolls on our team. If a hostage gets injured and infected under such circumstances, we would not have been able to fully complete our mission. You seem to have overlooked a very important detail. Our hostages were simulated. You're right, but when we are in the real world, our standpoint could be completely reversed. If we don't consider the hostages, we would be on the ones who would end up in recycling plants. Though, I suppose the pain would not be last long. No matter how many points we score on level 2, would just be T-DOS whose lives are ruined by video games. To be fair, that would be quite fitting for me. That was very sinister expression right now. Also, you really should have notified us before making such a drastic move. If you look at a replay, Ruchi clearly wasn't aware of your intentions, and so she could not coordinate with you despite being right next to you. Even if we suck, we should all suck together. Okay, I see they are still on the training, the Team B. And Vector is like probably a veteran. The battlefield is ever changing. Opportunities wait for no one. Surely you know that as well. You cannot deny the fact that by dropping their line on the enemies, I greatly reduce the threat they possess as well as the time it took to mount the rescue, thus increasing the hostages' chances of surviving. Even in the real world, loitering at the scene would be more dangerous for the hostages than getting cut by a shell of glass. But if the candlelight has been rigged with a bomb or grenade, things would have turned out very differently. So what do you want me to do? Apologize for something that didn't happen, but could have happened in your pathetic delusional paranoia? Focus on the result, Vector, like a normal doll would. Sensing the tension in the air, Apsia wrings her hand nervously. Ruchi looks back and forth between the teammates and is just about to say something. Knock knock. A knock on the glass interrupts the confrontation. The doll looks towards the sound. Commander? Hey, yeah, right, we are in the Elmo. The door slides open with a soft whoosh. I retract my gaze from the screen in the training room and direct my attention to Vector, who has jogged up to me. What is it, Commander? Are you here to supervise our training? No, I came here to talk to you. Still, isn't this score a bit low for you guys? Following my gaze, Vector glances at the data shown on the screen through the glass. Yeah, I didn't handle the problem very well. We have very different habits and way of thinking. The adjustment process is proving a little challenging. I don't know if you have noticed, but rather than adjusting to each other, that sounds more like a full-blown argument to me. You heard all that? Just a part of it, but things were getting pretty heated. The way I see it, you do work well as a team, but maybe things may go more smoothly if you communicate in some other way. Look, I said as much. She told me to find an effective way of communicating with my teammates. But arguing is also a way of communicating, no? May be a bit harsh, but through an argument, we can all effectively state out our needs and deepen our understanding of each other. Besides, Velrod's cutting remarks also serve as a regular reminder that this position of leadership just fell out of the sky for me, and that I have yet to prove myself worthy of it. Velrod. The change in the way she speaks was a bit dramatic, but I'm sure she didn't mean that in that way. I do wonder what she has gone through. Her tongue is much sharper than it used to be. I also think that she is, probably Vector is familiar with the captain, so we know her from Girls Frontline 1, maybe, but Velrod is very new. Still beats my constant self-pity. At least, she worked on becoming more persuasive. You see, on top of reaching an understanding, you also need to reach a consensus. You must also get Velrod to trust your concern and judgment if you value cooperation. But right now, both you and Velrod are still standing your ground and trying to force each other to accept your respective views. I hesitate as I gaze at Vector, who is now deep in thoughts. Vector was appointed as the leader of 404 Combat Team B by Klukai. It is clear to me that the biggest challenge that stands in her way of being a good team leader has nothing to do with her combat performance or battlefield awareness. The problem is with her personality and style. She fully acknowledges the problem, but that's all she does. She acknowledges it and seems perfectly content to resign herself to it. I suppose deep down, even Vector herself doesn't believe that she is up to the task. Klukai may give her some pointers, but she isn't really the type to give any encouragement. Sorry, that might have been a bit harsh. Since you are the team leader, I'm sure you have your own way of managing your team. Right, back to the subject. Have you seen the message that Klukai sent you? Vector pulls out her communicator immediately. There's an urgent message. Mechty's training plan? What? Wait, is this training plan for Mechty? Or is it training plan designed by Mechty? No way. I will be out on a mission with Klukai. Andoris and Belka are coming with us. Mechty frame is still under calibration, so we will leave her behind on the Elmo for now. However, Klukai had put together a training plan program for Mechty because she is worried that Mechty is going to sleep the whole time we are away and completely neglect her essential data calibration. She said you never replied to the message she had sent you, but she is busy preparing for the mission, so I came to follow up on that for her. You want me to supervise Mechty training? There is some sleepy doll that is not proud of this info. That's right. I believe Klukai would like Combat Team B to bring her along with you training as well. Don't go easy on her, not even as in a vs 1 or relay fight. 4 vs 1 would be a bit too... I have included all the things to note and precautions to take here. In any case, just make sure her head isn't always attached to her pillow. Fine. I hope Mechty won't find the fight against me too underwhelming. Vector's pessimist is a bit of a headache, but since I'm sad to this part, I will leave it till after I come back. Basically, Klukai wants you to take over as Mechty's leader while she's away. So don't hold back and be as strict as you want with her, Vector. I will do my best, but only if I can even make Mechty and get her to attend her training. Okay, so I guess I see. So Vector is left with Mechty to babysit her. It's even more sadder than the stage is not voiced. After returning to the training room, Vector informs her teammates of the arrangement made by the Commander and Klukai. Look like our great team leader has switched careers and become a nanny. Vector ignores Velrod, who is still hung up on the argument they were having. Let's call it a day. Submit your reports before 6. I will read through them after I finish supervising Mechty's combat simulation for today. Okay. Hey, wait a minute. You look familiar. Arpsy. Arpsy speaks up a bit timidly from her corner. Huh? What is it? Actually, may I supervise Mechty's training? Oh, that's the other girl with twin tails. I would lie if my first thought was not it's Bronya. But yeah, it's a girl with twin tails. With spiral twin tails. Yeah? You're actually volunteering for a mission, Harpsy? No, I was going to. Supervising Mechty's trainings to begin with. It's a favor of Daya. Why? Because the EV tactical module she is using to debug her data was specially developed by Daya and Klukai's request. I also participated in the development of the module. Since Daya has disembarked and returned to the safe zone, he asked me to monitor the operation of the module. An advanced tactical module? Sounds pretty interesting. Not really. It's all rather boring. So, you know, since I'm supposed to be doing it, please let me. I understand. However, since Klukai has assigned me to the mission, I must be present. Arpsy, you're staying with me. Arpsy's face freezes a little comically as she struggles to respond. Okay. I'm staying too. Huh? Why are you also staying, Velrod? I would love to see for myself what kind of advanced training Team A undergoes. Problem? No. If Velrod is also here, then it's all over. In that case, Vivi, count me in as well. Vivi? Wait, we have a skin Vivi hides her molotovs. Is Vivi a nickname for Vector? Okay, I guess. I'm sure you have better things to do. I want to spend more time with you, Vivi. Please. Staring into Raj's expectant eyes, Vector let out a sigh. Suit yourself. Just make sure you submit your report by 6. And with that we learn all the squad members. Game time. Don't be so serious. Life is a game after all. Mechty feels a light show on her arm. Her auditory module, which has been inactive while in sleep mode, activates instantly. Wake up. That doesn't sound like Klukai. The show also feels a lot less violent than usual. In that case, it just... If you don't get up in an instant, I will confiscate all the manga on the floor, you hear? Yeah. No! That's not out of the print collection editor of Doll X Family, signed by the manga artist. It's super expensive. Doll X Family? Mechty performs a spectacular kick up from their beanbag sofa. She reflexes visibly once she sees who it is. It's you, Vector. I invited you to appreciate this beanbag sofa together with me. I spent a fortune on it. It's much comfier than the couch in the lodge. So this is a dormitory of Mechty. By the way, speaking of Vector, she really did not bother a lot with their name change. I mean, her weapon, like her signature weapon, is also called Vector. I see no point to change such a cool name anyway, but yeah, it's one of the dolls that still called by her weapon. You see, the moment you lie down... As much as I want to join you, this isn't the time. Mechty is utterly deaf to what Vector is saying, as if she just flipped a switch. I really didn't want to come to this, but according to the guide that Klukai has left behind, this would be the most effective things to do. With a helpless side, Vector grabs Mechty by the arm, lifts her up, and shakes her back and forth with a great force, which basically similar to what we saw in the Paleon chapter. Hold on, something will come loose at this rate. Alright, I'm getting up. What the heck? You started to act more and more like Klukai. What happened? Aren't we supposed to be best friends of the Beanbag Club? You have 7 hours to complete today's combat simulation training. If you don't complete it in time, Klukai will be notified that your training is behind schedule. It's fine. Klukai isn't even here. I'm sure even the training conference will be postponed. Hang on. How do you know about my training program? Realization. Klukai asked the commander to task me with supervising your training before she left. Even though I don't really think someone like me is in any position to supervise other. Come on. She actually recruited a snitch? She even kicked up such a big fuss and got the commander involved? Wait, don't tell me she's also given you the switch that determines my fate. What switch? Nothing. Come now, Vector. Don't take everything so seriously. Remember the first tenet of our Beanbag Club? Never do anything now that can be put off until the last minute. 7 hours is a really long time, you see? I don't remember joining any club. Get up. Klukai didn't mention it in her message, but I'm guessing I will be held responsible if you don't complete your training in time. Seeing that she cannot weasel her way out of this, Mechty slides off her beanbag sofa reluctantly. Trying to guilt trip me now? Damn it, Klukai is becoming more and more like Leva. Oh, Mechty, morning. Isn't it an almost afternoon? Your guys on Team A sure are laid back. Mechty looks around the training room wordlessly and turns towards Vector. You're just like how little does Klukai trust me to have arranged such a over-the-top surveillance team for me. Maybe the two of us are the ones she does not trust. Whatever. Upsy, make the preparation. Oh, okay. Upsy reminds me on Bella from Neurocloud. Upsy links Mechty to the control terminal. She hesitates for a moment after entering level 2, but then proceeds to activate the module. Turn on the monitoring device and project her level 2 on the screen. Do we need to be that thorough? I believe by supervising, Klukai means watching her every single move like a hawk. What's the matter with you today, Upsy? Why do you seem so tense? The way I... Look, Vivi, the image on the screens look a bit strange. Prompted by Ruche's exclamation, Vector looks towards the screen. It is not showing the screen of a combat simulation. In the center of the black screen, an hourglass icon keeps rotating, and lines of text start emerging. Right. Constructing word framework. Formulating achievable objects. Showing tiny seeds of malice. A happy ending. What is it? Just then, a new image appears on the screen. The city from a bird's eye view is started. It appeared desolated, dilapidated. The image lashes, then starts diving downwards. A black spot on the ground grows even larger. As the camera dives, new text appears on the screen again. The once prosperous and beautiful city fell into decline under the ravages of invaders. As a guardian, it is your unavoidable duty to eliminate them. Young one, go and create a legend. Did we suck up in the game? The subtitles disappear. As the camera approaching the ground, it gradually becomes clear that the black spot is in fact a doll armed with a gun. He's facing a horde of enemies that are ready to attack. Oh, that's Mechty. It feels like we are stuck in some RPG game. Gamified training? It's not a bad idea of a gamified training. Well done, Upsy. What is going on? Mechty, what's going on? That's what I asked. Oh no, it's starting. Let's talk after this game. After making quick work of the enemy, Mechty holds up a big Y sign for victory. At the same time, the word leveled ups pop up over her head. Upsy, get her on the comms. Right. On the screen, Mechty jumps as she is startled by something. Then she turns around and leans in closer. Wow, so the monitoring device looks like a flying camera on level 2. It's even equipped with the comms. disguised as a familiar that followed a girl around. A disastrous yet classic trope. Looks like you have been reading the manga I gave you, Hapsi. So I'm guessing I will have to enter a contract soon enough. Eh? Hapsi? What? I... Damn, she's... What is this all about? Under Vector's impassive gaze, Hapsi finally stops wringing her hand and starts fiddling with the edge of her cord instead. It's a plugin that introduces video games mechanics into combat simulation. The plot is generated by advanced AI. It makes training more fun and interesting. I don't think we will find anything fun and interesting once Klukai finds out about this. I know you have been spending a lot of time on forums of game devs lately, but this mod wasn't your idea, was it? It's my idea. I asked Hapsi to whip this up. Don't you find that training these days really dull? I just cannot get fired up. But is it really a good idea to turn combat simulation into game? I have actually done my research, you know. The concept of gamification has been introduced to many jobs and business activities these days. Experimental results shows that it significantly improves employers' enthusiasm and productivity. For the sake of 404 training's efficiency, I don't mind volunteering as a lab rep to test this out. Where's your proposal? Huh? Your investigation report and analysis. It's one thing that you didn't tell me, but you actually put it into practice before clearing it with the Klukai? Well, if I would have told that tyrant right now from the start, my ingenious plan would have been nipped in the bud. But training should not be a game. Even I have played video games about warfare before, but it cannot really be applied to training. Speaking of games, Escape from Cyborg also very suspiciously sounds like Escape from Tarkov. Since it's not for training, I'm sure Hapsi has considered the issue of applicability. To lump her in with a certain dog on Team A who only ever thinks about slacking and playing is like a disservice. Hey, I can still hear you, you know. I'm not questioning Hapsi's ability or Mechty's. The issue here is that you should not keep us in the dark about this. Anything can happen in such an unstable operating environment. You are indeed very perceptive of potential danger in certain situations, but don't forget, this is just a game plugin. I'm very sure this is just a game plugin. Dolls don't take any damage in virtual space. Why don't you give your worst case scenario algorithm a break? I guess in their world there was no Sword Art Online. Hapsi gradually starts to regain her composure. She peers at Vector woefully. Velrot's face appears calm, but her eyes still flicker with emotions. You see, on top of reaching an understanding, you also need to reach a consensus. You must also get Velrot to trust your concern and judgment if you value cooperation. But right now, Both you and Velro are still standing your ground and trying to force each other to accept your respective views. Reach a consensus. Maybe I should yield a little. Come on, let's not argue. I will tell Klukai about this later. He will probably tell me off, but no biggie. If I don't start playing, training, I will get a demerit for falling behind schedule. In the end, Vector lets out a soft sigh. Fine. Carry on with your training. I doubt we will be able to contact Klukai or the Commander anytime soon. I ask myself, will we get a event about Klukai and Commander that what happened parallelly to it? Alright. But I'm also taking part. Vivi? Well, I don't mind. It's a co-op game, right? You give me such a earful, but you just wanna play as well, huh? No, I'm just worried you would run into problems that you cannot solve. Also, if I don't experiment it myself, I won't be able to report to Klukai on its implementation. Oh, how very serious and responsible of you. I wish he has such a funny voice. I wish it would be his hair was voiced. Upsy, lock me in too. Okay. I will change it to 2-player mode. Familiar stranger. Perhaps this is her form of parallel timeline. The overgrown weeds and Rackle soil beneath Vector's feet stretches all the way to the high walls surrounding the city in the distance. Using the watch-like operating device fixed on her wrist, Vector opens the area map. On the map, the red cursor representing her and Mechty are drawing closer together. Vector, over here! The wind carries Mechty's holler. Vector studies her surrounding. Her attention is immediately drawn to a red telephone booth not far from her. She then catches sight of Mechty, who is bouncing up and down right to the phone booth, waving her arms around. Her hair is bristly and messy, like a bunch of weeds. Vector the Brave, are you ready to set up upon this adventure with me? Look, you just have to make... This is actually a perfect Mechty trainings program. I don't think that Klukai will be that much against it. Look how motivated Mechty is. I think I am. No, you are not. But that's alright. Mechty the Great Prophet will guide your way. Come, get inside. Mechty points at the red phone booth. What is this? You will find out when you get in. Vector is ushered into the phone booth, which looks decidedly out of place with its surroundings. Then, and Mechty is insistent, she picks up the receiver and puts it against her ear. After a soft click, a mechanical female voice comes from the other end of the line. Saving game. Do not disconnect. Wait, which game was it that you can save with phone booths? Saved. You are fully restored. Vector hangs up and exits the phone booth. She realizes her HP bar is full again. So it's a save point. Save points are super important. You can only level up and restore to full health at save points. That gives a Dark Souls vibe now. Whoa, how come you jumped 3 levels in an instant? Your level is now even higher than me, the Great Prophet. I killed several elites on the way. Huh? So you get more XP from farming elite mobs? That should not be the case. Are you really, Mechty? Of course I am. Why do you ask? Your energetic demeanor and genuine efforts in problem solving are in coherence with my neural records. I told you as much. Gaming can boost enthusiasm. If you were this enthusiastic in real life, Klukai would not have. Whoosh! The sound of a bullet slicing through the air. Sniper, 11 o'clock. The 2 dolls dive to the side of the road. The next second, a bullet hole appears on the spot where they were just standing. Vector promptly draws her submachine gun and aims at the source of the sound shot. But she freezes at the sight of the attacker. The doll standing on the slope not far away sports corkscrew twin-tail that are most familiar to Vector. Number 19? Wait, is she in 90? Relax, that was just a greeting. But her attitude is utterly unfamiliar. Oh? Rushi? Why is she also in the game? That's not Rushi. What? Who are you? Ruina Crystallis lies just ahead. It is not a place meant for morons like you. I have seen too many who risk everything trying to make a fortune, but end up playing with their lives. Rushi, who bears the name tag number 19 above her head, continues her monologue as if she has not heard Vector's questions at all. You're right. Rushi doesn't talk like Klukai. What? You don't know about Ruina Crystallis? The technology of converting collapsed crystals into crystal energy has won this city worldwide renown. Just how ignorant are you? Collapsed crystals? Crystal energy? Crystal energy has made Ruina Crystallis the most prosperous and affluent city in the world, and it is the best place for us crystal hunters to find job. Unfortunately, the largest arterial crystal pipe is exploded, and their radiation release led to the creation of countless invaders. It was all because of the wanton destruction they caused that Ruina Crystallis is in this sorry state. Ruchi's tone and gesture becomes increasingly impatient. It's almost as if a spotlight is shining on her as she soliloquizes. But even as a set of ruins, the remaining collapsed crystals in Ruina Crystallis still attracts countless fools who dream of getting rich overnight. If you are just headless flies driven by greed, I advise you to turn around and scrap as fast as you can. What the hell is she on about? Huh? Are you not headless flies, you say? Then, who on earth are you? After that, Rachi's feels like someone has pushed a pause button on her. She just stares at them unmovingly. She's literally like a game NPC. 2 lines on the text panel in front of her out of the thin air. A. We are not headless flies. B. We are guardians who have come to save the city. It seems to be automatically filtering what we say. These 2 lines are responses. Or maybe... What? Maybe we are in a cutscene, and those two lines are the choices that will set up on different plot branches. In that case... Rachi... No, this is number 19, must be an NPC. NPC? Mechty, have you ever encountered this when you use your plugin previously? Nope. The plot were all really simple. It's either slaying a dragon to save a princess or collecting little piece of pets. It's like an AI generated games. I feel like it's like the plugin that puts all the similar games tropes and just put them in one and AI generates them. Something like this. Aha. Why don't we just ask Hapsi, the creator of the plugin? Hapsi, what's going on here? But the surveillance camera simply flutters around them, giving no response. Strange. The comms line disconnected? Huh? Then, let's just randomly pick an answer. Mechty reads the two lines quickly. Let's not be around the bush and just state our identity. We are guardians who have come to save the city. Wow, that sounded pretty badass. Rashi comes to life again after receiving a new input. Guardians? Could weaklings like you actually be guardians? Since you are guardians, I have no reasons to stop you, though I seriously question your abilities to save Ruina Crystallis. How dare you question us? To prevent you from accumulating death, I have some information to share with you. Invaders will regenerate infinitely in their radiation, and can only be eradicated by using a secret weapon that can cleanse the radiation. The secret weapon is in Research Institute in the northwest corner of Ruina Crystallis. I have guided many people there, but none have returned. If you are sure about this, follow this road and head north. There's a border terminal, which is the only entrance to this sealed city. Here are some supplies for you. Zone map, Outstreak of Ruina Crystallis obtain. Ammo 36 obtain. Master requests updated. Hit the Research Institute of in Ruina Crystallis. It's actually fun. We are in a game in a game. As the mechanical female voice picks up again, the doll feels a soft vibration on her wrist. Now go and complete your mission. Stop taking up space here. With that, Rachi freezes again. Almost at the same time, a frantic voice shrieks from the surveillance camera. Vivi, that wasn't me. I would never call you a fool or a moron. Delete that from your neurologs. I actually find her assessments quite pertinent. Vivi! Don't worry, even I could tell that wasn't you. Get Hapsi on the line. Okay, but promise me you will delete that. Hapsi, here you go. We have Belka that very enthusiastic about the team leader Klukai in Team A, but we have now also Hapsi. Not the Hapsi, Rachi, that is very enthusiastic about the team leader Vivi, or like Vector. Hapsi, here you go. Hapsi's voice now speaks from the camera. Vector? Why did the comms line get disconnected just now? It didn't. To enhance gaming immersion, voice input is automatically disabled when entering a cutscene. Cutscene? So that number 19 really is an NPC? Yes. The creative AI I implemented is in the plug-in can only write very simple things in the early stages. After a period of time, it will learn and upgrade itself by reading the subject's neural logs. Maybe this is why Mechty has never encountered any NPCs before. Sounds good, and self-learning AI, and we are trapped in its system. That sounds like perfect scenario for a horror game. Reading the subject's neural cloud. That's right. Due to a lack of R&D fundings, some of their settings as well as their NPCs models and appearances are randomly extracted and recreated from the dolls that have taken part in the past combat simulations in their neural clouds. Man, she's very talkative since when we're not facing her head on. So that wasn't really Rachi, but merely a character with Rachi's appearance data. The personality is based entirely on the plot generated by the AI. A carbon copy in terms of physical appearance, but with a complete different personality? Oh boy, that's pretty interesting. I'm getting really excited all about what's gonna happen. Does this Ruina Crystallis she mentioned exists in reality? No, the AI just grabbed some information about collapsed crystals and made up the rest. Perhaps to ease Vector's concern, Arpsy added cautiously. Don't worry, it's all just for the internal use. None of it is uploaded to the network. Our data is totally safe. Understood. Vector nods. I have no more questions. Let's go, Mechty. Now that we have the new map, we should continue to explore. Woohoo! He seems to be even more fired up than me, Vector. See? Gamification does work. Perhaps, but being more fired up than you isn't something that warrants much price. Feels bad, Mechty. Following number 19's instruction, the two dolls entered their border terminals without much hassle. The deserted buildings appear spacious and empty. A gloom of the unknown lies beyond the turnstile. Wow, looks almost like a passage that leads to some kind of alternative dimension. Watch your step. What? Mechty dodges aside out of reflex. Then she looks back. She realizes it's just a broken leap of an alley. Huh? Now that I take a good look, the whole place is littered with allied remains. I have a bad feeling about this. Once we go through this passage, we should be in the city. Vector peers at Mechty's health bar. By the way, I have been meaning to ask. What? What's that grayish-white thing underneath our health bath? It goes down periodically. Oh, that's... All of a sudden, a piercing hole interrupts their conversation. Vector's eyes flash as she darts a glaze behind her. Duck, enemy tech. Gray bar. Damn, which game is this? We are facing an unknown number of enemy units. Let's keep our distance now. Those footsteps. Wow, it sounds like there's quite a few enemies. Let's just try to handle them out of the best of our abilities. Okay. The last Alice is shot through the head and topples to the ground even while it's lunging forwards. Standing in front of us is Vector, who did not manage to raise her gun in time. Her fingers remain still on the target. Oh, that was close. Are you okay? Vector straightens up. She curls her fingers and uncurls them again tentatively. I was unable to move due to some kind of force, but I seem to be okay now. Is it stamina bar, the grey bar you mentioned? Ah, that's because your stamina bar was down to 0. Stamina bar? You know, the greyish-white things that you were just asking me about. Any big movement, like jumping, rolling, etc., consumes stamina. If your stamina bar is empty, you won't be able to move, and we'll have to wait for your stamina to recover. To do that, Mechty, the prophet, suggests you move and kite your enemies while recovering your stamina bar. Don't make any big movements unless you absolutely have to. The gaming expert. By the way, Mechty, those do remind me a little bit of like the vibe, energy. I wouldn't say it's like exactly like Krook from Girls from NeuroCloud, but also her grayish hair, like her appearance, a little bit. I see, but how do you define big movement? Any movement other than walking. That doesn't seem very reasonable. What are you talking about? This is the essence of this kinds of game. Stamina management is the key that sets noobs and pros apart. You still have much to learn, newbie Vector. And this reminds me that I still, after all these years, want to play Elden Ring. But in reality, unless there's some kind of malfunction, dolls don't experience such interruptions to their power supply before their battery runs out. I cannot think of any real benefit this mechanism brings to actual combat in the real world. Well... Mechty seems to be devoting a lot of computational power to pondering this question. Her brown furrows deeply. It can reduce unnecessary maneuvers, conserve energy and power. See, at the end of the day, energy and power are not infinite. I personally disagree, but if I will note this down and let Klukai and the Commander be the judge of that. We are having so much fun here. Do we have to keep bringing up the bad ending that awaits me? As they converse, they step over the remains of the elite and head towards the turned slide. Neither of them notice its almost imperceptible twitch. Twitch? Okay, I asked myself, will we get even Commander's and Klukai's response to that game in this event? Misery Maker. Do people who enjoy sinking into misery truly exist? With a soft click, Vector and Mechty exit the phone booth. Before them lie the familiar weeds and cracked earth. The bloody text, "You died," remains haunting fresh in the memory. Oh my god, this is definitely a very Dark Souls vibe. Wait, why are we here again? You return to the last save point when you die. So clearly we just died? Oh. I have no idea. I was talking to you, so I didn't see anything, but something probably ambushed us from behind. Rather than the surveillance camera pipes up while circling around them. Vivi, I saw it. It was the alien that you shot down. It was feigning death. It was the one who attacked you from behind. Elliot? It feigning death? Uh-huh. You have been hurt? I should have known there would be such sneaky ass moves in some kind of games. Yep. Hang on. Am I being ignorant here? Have you ever seen an edit that knows how to feign death? I haven't, but that does not really rule out the possibility. When it's matter of life and death, even the poor edits have to pick up some cutting things. That's true. Then all commission that involves elites would double in price. This time, it's Velro who speaks through the camera. Vector, it's one of those extreme unlikelihoods that you are so obsessed with. This should not be so far-fetched, according to your logic. The derision in Velro's tone does not escape Vector, but she makes no rebuke. Instead, she pulls up the game interface. You're missing a certain amount of ammo and 531 XP. Is this a system error? Nah, it's probably the penalty for dying. Penalty for dying? Just as we get drops as a reward for killing enemies, if we die, we also lose supplies and XP. But the supplies are usually retrievable at the location of our death. Wouldn't they be seized by the enemies? Huh? That would be way too infuriating, no? They are their players' hard-earned supplies. If any game implements that, it will flop real hard as soon as it launches. I think there are a couple of games that have this mechanic. I think it's Dead Cells? Though it might actually be an interesting gimmick. Feels like the game is dragging us around by the nose. Yeah, I totally get what you mean. Sometimes, when you just cannot beat the game, if you are so angry you just can want to quit, you will think to yourself, oh, I should at least pick up the loot before quitting. Then once you have done that, you will think, oh, since I'm here, why not give it another go? Maybe I will beat it this time. Then before you know, a whole night has passed. Oh, what a game of troubles you have. Huh? So the game is exploiting the player's fear of loss and competitive nature to keep them addictive? Let's go and retrieve our loot and make our way to Ruina Crystallis. We will have to be careful this time round. We'll be fine. I know that the edits here can play that now. Just give up a control shot. Yeah, but it's so annoying to have to fight them again. Remember to shoot them one more after they go down, to ensure that no edits are playing death. Yeah, I have got it. Then let us begin. That was close. I was starting to think that I would lose. That was a hard game. That was training. Never mind. Let's go to see what else we can take. Okay, I will have a look over there. Machine Vector starts rumbling through the pile of alleys scattered all around for supplies. Their search ellipse corpses disintegrate and fade away. Armor 63 obtain. Healing potion 10 obtain. Item Crystallis bracelet obtain. Zone map Ruina Crystallis urban area obtain. New zone unlocked. A cheap bracelet made of inferior crystal fragments. Judging by the description, it seems pretty useless. If it's useless, it's probably an item that can be related to the plot. We cannot go wrong by keeping it with us. Say, this has been quite profitable. With all the XP, we can level up twice in a row. But we are constantly at risk of losing the XP before we find the next save point. You would be wise to not treat them as yours yet, so that you won't feel sorry if you lose them. If we lose them, we can always get them back, just a bit of a pain. You can always start again in games. You can always start again. Does that mean you don't always give it your all? No. I was always putting in effort. Vector stares at Mechty with a look of disbelief. Then all of a sudden, another thought seems to have struck her. If we die again while in the process of retrieving our loot, will we still be able to recover the things we were trying to retrieve? I haven't really come across to that situation, but speaking from my gaming experience, probably not. Harpsy, is that right? The camera, hovering in mid-air, bobs up and down twice. That is indeed the case. I base it on a game with similar mechanics. Basically, you can only recover the things that you last dropped. So if your inventory isn't empty to begin with, you won't be able to recover anything. In other words, players are very likely to end up with nothing at all. Yeah, if you're not careful, then that's true. An extremely limited amount of save points, save-based recovery, enemy resetting, drops penalty. So far, I find the design and features of the game that are beyond the scope of training a little too harsh and cumbersome. I was just trying to match the level of difficulty to the module. Also, Mechty said they were all standard setups for games. Standard setups for games? I had assumed you would at least consider how to incorporate trainings into the game, but from what I can see, you have simply shoehorned it into a framework without much thought. That's where you are wrong. Suffering is the essence of this sort of mechanism. Only through the trial of hardship does the fruits of victory taste sweeter. I don't have a module installed for ingesting food, thank you. So what else do I not know about the sense of this kind of mechanism? You're missing the point, Vector. You have been approaching this with a negative bias and such reluctance from the get-go. It's only natural that you struggle to experience the fun that I'm trying to explain. You have got to relax. I think you also completely fail to comprehend my concerns. I totally understand them, but since we are here, we should just chill and enjoy the game. You Vector brown furrows. Then she lets out a heavy sigh. Never mind. At least in terms of combat, both the breakout in the beginning and the ambush we went just through match the strength of the module. There are some things that did not make much sense in other aspects, but they are not impossibly far-fetched. Whoa, sounds like you have played some impossibly far-fetched games? I just find it very bizarre that those games demand dolls to behave in a way that follows human physiological habits. Can you explain in a more understandable way? Basically, back when we were still at Griffin, Rachi and I took part in a gaming tournament with some monetary rewards. The event was quite heavily promoted. I wonder if you remember. I also wonder if this was actually an event in Girls Frontline 1. Gaming tournament? That does ring a bell. Apart from dying in combat, players in that game could also die from hunger and hypothermia. That would not be so strange for humans, but we are dolls, so we tend to overlook such problems. If this plugin also incorporates the same mechanism that makes it possible for us to die from a lack of substances or low temperatures, then it would make it even more difficult for us to beat the game. Hold on, don't tell me you're talking about surviving games. There's a interesting sense of the division. What? You didn't participate? The Division? Is it like the real game? Nope. I remember Adol played it actually freeze to death. I think she went by King Nyan Punch. Nyan. Oh my god! I really ask myself if it's a reference to the real world. Like to actual overworld, to actual Division game. What a tasteful name, huh? Right, we'd better get going, or the elites will respond. You're right. Then let me check with the way we should go. After scrutinizing the map for a while, Vector plots out a serpentine route. Looks like we will spend quite some time on the road. The Research Institute and the border terminal are on two diagonally opposite ends of the city. Oh, that's really far. How long will it take to get there? Running across the map is always such a chore. Can we just travel along a straight line here? Mechty points at the straight passage leading to the northwest area, marked with a dotted line on the map. The mouth of a passage is right ahead of them. Underground transportation hub of Ruina Crystallis. Are you sure? Anything underground always sounds particularly ominous. The value of training is demonstrated in dangerous places. We are not tourists, so what's the point in spending so much time on the road? You're right. It's more important to complete the training. Unexpected ally. Grant me the power to win, my most loyal friend. Mechty and Mechty feel the way forward in the gloom of the transportation hub. If we die again, let's not go underground again. According to the map, this is the fastest route to the Research Institute. The route above the ground is too meandering. But at least we are much less likely to get surrounded and brutally killed by enemies in the dark alley just now. Don't you think? I didn't know our night vision was disabled. Our most recent death count us 1500 XP, 110 armor, and 25 healing potions. That's a lot of healing potions. All our efforts down the drain just like that. Don't just assume we are definitely gonna die. We have gone through this part before. We can just counterattack following the enemy sequences of attacks, right? Then have you memorized the enemy sequences of attack? Well, 2 came from straight ahead, then 3 from the left, and 1 from behind? Wrong. There were 2 enemies attacking us from behind. The one who grabbed you crawled up to us on the ground, while the other who attacked me was hanging from the ceiling. Vector feels the doll behind her shiver. That sounded like something right out of the horror game. But since you memorize it, we should be fine, no? There's no telling if we will encounter more enemies after that. You're right. Games like this love kicking you when you are down. Seriously, this AI has really got the sadism of certain game devs down pat. Sadism? Going by your own logic, I thought this would be the so-called essence of these games. It's only an essence after you beat the game. Before that, it's all the dev sadism. And it's just exhausting. I feel like I have reached a point where I would just quit the game and go to sleep. But this is your training. Vector ignores the reluctance in Mechty's voice and continue onwards. As darkness trampled her visions, her auditory modules become exceptionally sensitive. In this cavernous underground transportational hub, even the softest rustles sound incredibly loud. Vector suddenly comes to a halt, causing Mechty to crash right into her back. That hurts. Why the heck did you stop all of a sudden? Shh, stay quiet and crank up your auditory module sensitivity. Why you are all being so secretive? Mechty rubs her forehead and does an is instructed. A buzzing noise like the flapping of bee wings grows clear and clear from ahead. It is coming from here. Vector places her hand on the wall next to her and feels the way down inch by inch. What? There's a vent here, and the sound is coming from inside. Mechty, back up a bit. Okay. After a burst of gunshots, something plate-like falls to the ground with a clank. The opening should be wide enough. Wait, you're going in there? I want to see what kind of noise making it. The sound is too rhythmic, which seems suspicious. To prevent us from encountering anything unexpected again while we are on the way to recover the supplies we have lost, we must eliminate all unfavorable conditions in advance. You have a point. This could be a hidden stage or something. Then make it quick. I will wait here for you. Are you coming with us? Mechty let out a massive yawn. She seems to have grown tired of being energetic. Have you forgotten who is supposed to complete her training here? I haven't. But what if we wipe in there? All of our worldly possessions will get swallowed by the system again. That's why I told you not to think of them as yours. If we wipe, we will just start again. We can start again however many times we want, since it's a game, right? Wow, I can scarcely believe Mechty actually said something so reckless. I'm just doing my best to comprehend your idea of fun. After turning a few bands along the ventilation duct, the two dolls' vision become clear and clear as their eyes capture a little bit of light. At last, they reach the other end of the ventilation duct. Vector dislodges the metal plate by force, and light floods their vision. Metal buckets and storage boxes are scattered all around in a place which is neither big or small. Several switches are mounted on the wall, and several generators are locked behind metal fences on either side of the passage. This is a generator room? But those generators are not running. So where is the power coming from? And what's that mechanical sound? Could it be that? Vector looks towards where Mechty is pointing and sees an electric cable traveling down the wall and across the passage. The cable is connected to the glass container device. A sparkling crystal is suspended in the glass container, slowly rotating while emanating a rhythmic buzz. That's... Just as they make an approach it, the sound of glass container crashing to the ground suddenly comes from behind them. They quickly drop behind a pillar and raise their weapons. The person who has suddenly appears behind them is currently grabbing at her own face with both hands, looking utterly terrified. EMP. Ah, I have been spotted. Is that H.I.D.E? It is H.I.D.E. It's probably not. The hovering camera wobbles in the air as if it protests, but it makes no sound. Spotted, lab rats will be eaten. What should I do? What should I do? The NPC named TMP appears to be in a state of extreme panic. She keeps pacing around the pillar in the passage manically. Then, all of a sudden, she stops. Oh, I need to calm down. Calm down and think. Oh, right. I have to find the anywhere door. If I find the anywhere door, I will be able to leave. She looks around. Her face lights up in glee as her gaze lands on the one of the storage boxes. And now she sparkles. Found it! The MP steps right into the box and closes the lid above her head in one fluid moment. What? Vector strides forward and flips the lid open. A scream that sounds almost like a groundhog immediately comes from within the box. Ah! I've got found again! I'm getting eaten! Ah, it's so loud. My auditory module. Vector, do something! As the scream persists in the background, two choices once again appears before the two dolls. Close the box and let her calm down, or use item crystal bracelet. So this is where you can use it. Vector taps the icon of the crystal bracelet on her watch and confirms that she would like to hand it over to H.I.D.E, who bears the name tag TMP above her head. I'm I'm getting eaten. I'm getting... Oh? That's... The bracelet icons in TMP's hands materialize into an actual bracelet. At the sight of a bracelet, the girl's panic is immediately replaced by joy. You okay, Oliver? You are the very picture of health. I'm so glad you didn't get eaten by monsters. No, we can get out of here together. Make sure to hold onto my hand and don't go. The MP puts the bracelet on her wrist fastidiously, then she gives the two dolls a solemn bow. Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing Oliver. Sorry for misunderstanding you for scary monsters. Oliver was all I had, even before becoming a lab rat. We loved going to treasure hunts in the city. Oliver thought we were just digging up trash, but I often found treasures. It's just a bracelet. What do you mean, Oliver? Sounds like a scavenger. But what is the deal with this lab rat business? Then one day, someone told us that he could offer an unlimited food and a safe space to live. But in exchange, we must do him a small favor for trying out some colorful candy and drinks. We agreed. That person let us stay in the cage with lots of other lab rats like us. They were all covered in sparkly crystals, so pretty. Oh yeah, that's it. Wow, thanks goodness it didn't break. The jar is surprisingly sturdy. MP picks up the glass container with the crystals lying by her feet and lifts it up for them to see. He said this crystal is super useful. It generates heat and power and can do anything. When I left the cage, I took some with me. As a gesture of my gratitude, I will give this to you. You can also take all these. The watches ping with notification. Collapse crystals 3. Crystal powered flashlight 1. Item. Broken pocket watch obtained. This is all the treasure I have on me. Only when I will be resting here for a bit. Until next time, kind strangers. After delivering her lines in rapid fire mode, TMP falls silent. Wow, she came, she monologued, she scrambled. What a perfect NPC, utterly no nonsense. Whatever the case, this... Vector waggles the flashlight in her hand. Shows that we can hand in plot-relevant items to NPCs in exchange for items that can help us along the way. The broken pocket watch probably has us use, but there is no guarantee we will be running into the right NPC. Don't overthink it, we will encounter them when the time is right. At least we have a light source now. We won't be so easily ambushed by elites that jump us from the shadow like before. But we won't necessarily beat them even if we can see. One step at a time, I suppose. Now, let's go get out stuff and continue on the city. I can finally see clearly. Wow, so many enemies lying in ambush. All units be cautioned and take care to not be ambushed again. That enemy seems pretty dangerous. Maybe we should gang up on it? Agreed. No, that's what I call a tactic understanding between members of a fraternity, whatever it was. With the help of the flashlight, the two dolls promptly dispatch their invaders in the transportation hub and recover their loot. Watching her XP bar slowly grow, Mechty lets out a long exhale. I'm kinda in the mood again. Something is not right. Huh? I recover less than 2/3 of my previous XP. I also have fewer supply than before. What about you? I don't really see much of a difference. On top of the loot, I have a feeling that something important is missing. Something important? It's all simulated data here, so you should not lose anything. If you lose important neural logs, your neural module will also like it. That's true. But I'm absolutely certain that this isn't all the loot. Could be a bug. Bugs are pretty common in games. Just ask Upsy for a patch update. Upsy, can you please take a look? Sure thing. Leave it to me. While you're at it, also check the surveillance connection. Your voice is getting fuzzy. Okay. See, look, change. When they finally emerge from the underground transportation hub, the sunlight is so strong that Mechty has to squint her eyes. We are finally out of that dark and miserable place. So this is the city proper of Ruina Crystallis. Doesn't seem all that different from the satellite cities we have visited before. The image is taken out from our neural logs after all. But there are differences. Look over there. There are colorful grass pipes of varying thickness and length as far as the eye can see. Some of them lie under overtuned floor tiles. Some are poking out of the broken walls, while others are completely exposed outside. Most of them are crackled and broken, like icicles piercing the city. I wonder what those colorful glass pipes are for. This must be the crystal pipe explosions or whatnot that the NPC Rachi mentioned. Crystal pipe? Rachi? While Vector is still deep in thoughts, a mellow voice speaks up from behind. Oh! Andoris! G36K. Those are crystal pipes. They are for transmitting crystal energy. Andoris? Andoris, who has appeared behind them at some point, claps her hand and blinks, her lips curl into a prim smile. And yeah, that's their gun's name. Ever since people discovered how to convert collapsed crystals into energy, the city began laying pipes made of this special material on a large scale of transmitting energy to every corner of the city. The city was therefore named Ruina Crystallis, and the pipes were also named crystal pipes. Those rainbow-like crystal pipes were essentially the Asteris of the city. Now we're getting stuck with some city lore. Right. Are you crystal hunters? Crystal hunters? No. We are guardians. You managed to reach the city proper. You may not be crystal hunters, but you're no ordinary people either. We are nothing extraordinary either. We are actually guardians. Guardians? Oh, impressive. No wonder you suffered no injuries on your journey here. I will not be that sure about this. Well, that's not entirely... Huh? What is it, Vector? feeling a tug on her sleeve, Mechty looks back at Vector. Don't you think there's something strange about her? Strange? Yeah, wait, she actually responds to us. Wait, does she respond to us? Yeah, she actually... We didn't have to checkbox and answer. Yeah, you're right. It's like talking to Andoris in the flesh. That's not what I mean. Have you noticed that your interaction with the other NPCs are done through multiple choice questions, whereas she able to conserve with us freely? Maybe it's just a flag that her prescribed response matched the conversation? Let me try again. Mechty clears her throat. Andoris? My name is G36K ESK. Damn, she actually registers what we are saying. She's different from the previous NPCs. You would be better be careful. And who are you? I'm a mercenary dispatched to Ruina Crystallis to search for a rescue survivor. You're here on your own? I came with a company, but the intelligence we received was inaccurate. The number of invaders drowned here by the leaked crystal energy far exceeded our expectations. Out of the whole company, I'm the only one left. G36K Kioskia glows slightly. I'm trying to gather as much of my companions' possession as I can, just to give some closure to their families. The two dolls fall silent as they return to her resolute gaze. Something just feels off. Have you got any ideas? Not really. It's too much of a pain to think. Just want to get this over with and get some rest before Klukai comes back. Have the motivational effects of this gamification things worn off already? Well, even a gamer girl would get bored after playing for too long. Klukai? Nothing. You are gathering your fallen companion's possessions, you say? Have you found anything yet? No, it's just trying to find needles in a haystack. Possessions. As Vector ponders this, she suddenly thinks of the broken pocket watch. Maybe you could take a look at this? Vector taps her watch to give her a broken pocket watch to G36K KSK. Light particles gather to form a physical object in G36K's KSK palm, an actual pocket watch. This is? She opened the pocket watch with great care, and her eyes well up with tears. This belongs to a friend. Thank you. G36K turns to open pocket watch to show Mechty and Vector what's inside. Wait! We know this girl. Weasley or so. A photo is engraved in the inside of the cover. The subject with blonde hair and green eyes glares at them with scornful eyes. It's well wrought. Vector eyes the hovering camera with some trepidation. It's for the plot. I hope she doesn't mind too much. Thank you. This is probably the only thing I will be able to find. I don't have anything to give you in return for the favor. Eh? Nothing at all? I thought we would get some kind of new skill or something, amazing item. Like an armor of revival or something like that. I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't have any armors of revival. But I could join you and let you my strength. Support character G36K has joined the group. She joined the group before she got playable? I do want the her playable soon. Holy crap. This can happen? I suppose a support character is an NPC that assists players in combat. Bingo! 10 points to Vector. Fabulous. Now something will fight in my seed deal. Though I wonder if this Andoris also crashes very easily. You should not rely on her too much, whether she's prone to crash or not. You have got to complete the training on your own merit. Don't worry. Support NPCs are only here to balance out the game difficulty. Vector peers at the smiling G36K, then in Mechty, who is looking around with excitement and frowns. She tries to suppress the sense of disquiet she is feeling and look down to consult the map. We are still some distance away from the research institute. I hope nothing will go wrong. Famous last words. So, because of the length, we will be making a cut here for the first part of Escape from Cyborg. And to make like easier uploads and stuff, I will be continuing with the part 2 of the event. I'm curious to see if we will get a evaluation of the Commander and Klukai, what they think about this new gamification of the training. So I will be thanking you for watching, listening. I wish you a good day, night, afternoon, and see you in part 2. Take care.